Hello everyone and welcome to another Wayfinder video. My name's Brian if you happen to be new to the channel, but if you're part of this incredible 74,830 of y'all everyday future millionaires, that's right. That's what we talk about here. We talk a lot about life, a little bit about gaming, and so much more. Now, today's video is going to be focusing on Wayfinder. This is going to be state of the game. This is my thoughts and impressions of the game so far. And this is also going to be an exploration about the games as a service total state of the game, because what is happening with Wayfinder, my impressions of it, and my hope for its future all kind of are reflective of what is kind of going on right now. And I think when I look at some of the analysis, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of dooms and gloom, lots of negative. Insert X game, why it's dying here, pretty freaking standard. But this story starts off on our Discord here at the channel. Karamak puts out, "Oh Lord, here comes the dead game bullcrap again," noting the player 24-hour peak, all-time peak on Steam numbers. And yes, it is a here we go again, because there is no shortage of new space. Now, I do feel when it comes down to Wayfinder, when it comes to their numbers and this early access release, this is perhaps the best and most healthy approach to handling your game. Don't necessarily release your games as a service game until you're ready. But Wayfinder was hit with lots of login queues, which can ultimately frustrate and burn out people. But I think it goes beyond that. I think it goes beyond the numbers themselves. And the story here in my mind isn't the numbers. It's what's going on in 2023 and why gaming has gotten so competitive and so good. We saw, I think, a massive amount of delays. I think when we look at 2021 and 2022, with everybody pivoting and more work from home and how everything has kind of been evolving over the course of this last 2 to 3 years, here we are in 2023, and games that were planned on releasing much sooner all kind of have gotten a little extra time, a little extra love. And so we've seen, I think, a year where the games themselves have just been really, really good. And that's one of the things. Why is my number not as important when it comes to what Wayfinder is that I've had fun playing Wayfinder. I would recommend playing Wayfinder. I'm looking forward to playing more Wayfinder, but time is my biggest factor here, especially with a game that will be free to play once it is fully released and on all consoles with crossplay and progression and all that beautiful stuff. Like, this game at least has at its core a lot of things that are working in its favor. But what it doesn't have is hype and marketing, and it doesn't have the ability to go toe-to-toe with this fall's gaming lineup. And this in itself is a good thing. Like Sir Rule pointing out, yeah, like this game is dead. Just memeing on it because you know that those conversations are going to happen online. But I thought I'd run some numbers, right? Because when we look at the initial dip, we see almost an 80% drop in active players. That means that they tried out the game. Maybe they don't feel like it's personally ready, or maybe they went to go play any hundreds of numbers of other games. Starfield, Cyberpunk, we got Spider-Man, Mario. Like, when we just look at this game alone, not even counting your backlog, this is just a massive amount of things to play, and everybody is the one currency that we all don't know how much we have and is very limited is time. And that ends up being kind of the case. But just kind of running the numbers, when you look at average concurrent, when you're trying to factor out the monthly active users, this is an industry standard number. You can check the range between 7 and 11. So on Steam, and yes, the game's on PlayStation 5 and we don't have numbers over there, but you can start to kind of think that there's going to be a correlation between them. Obviously that's estimate, but Steam alone, we could start to estimate that the average monthly active users on the low end is going to be somewhere around 18,000 players, and then the high end is going to be somewhere around 28,000. That's actually, I think, a respectable number, especially for an early access game, especially for what this chooses to deliver on. And honestly, I think this is going to give them plenty of time, telemetry, and more that players can play. And then ultimately, when they're fully ready to launch, they can launch in a window with the free-to-play model and continue to attract in new players and returning players as well, who've maybe, and in this case, anybody who's playing it has purchased one of the packs. So you kind of want to start to go get that value. But when it's all said and done, when we look at the state of games as a service, there does seem to be a general burnout of the model. And I think when we start to think about all the delays and how we've been seeing these more story-driven single-player games roll out, especially in terms of RPGs this year alone, typically those have been spread out much further between, and games as a service games can tend to fill in the gap. That's what we're seeing with the push for Sony. That's what we're seeing with the push for Xbox. And with this kind of the model, and with everything kind of being stacked up in and of itself, I do wonder if this natural delay, I don't know, that's a weird word to talk about the pandy in, but with the delay that kind of forced it, will we see over the course of the next several years more and more games having that extra time to truly deliver? And can games as a service compete with something like Game Pass, which is the ultimate games as a service? PlayStation Now, I think, in a close second with what they're offering, and they're kind of taking it at a different approach. And ultimately, I think that's a good thing. I want to see these companies compete, and that's going to help keep prices down and quality going up. And that's going to be where all that kind of shakes out. But that's, guys, what I want to be. I do recommend. I'm $150 in. I went with the ultimate pack for this game. I do hope that it's successful, but there's still a lot of unknowns. And with the health of this game being what it is, you can see that the hype has left it. What will the numbers look like over the course of the next couple months? We might explore those as a part of these discussion topics in these videos. But overall, people have asked me. I want to give you guys some thoughts. Sorry this video has been massively delayed because of the very reasons of what I'm telling you. Like, there is so much good stuff to play, and so limited time to do so. It's just going to be one of those games that you kind of have to step in and step out. And then as long as them, with their seasonal model, with their characters and more, I think they can have that re-invitation happen quite often, and we'll just keep you up to date on it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you didn't, you can hit that dislike button twice. I hear that is going to help fix it. It hasn't been working as of late, but I'll let you guys make the choice for yourself. Anyway, thanks so much for checking out the video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, but until then, take care.